Hey everyone, welcome to Smart Course, the go-to place for authoritative information and strategies for special needs and learning disorders, especially ADHD. Today we're talking about social and emotional learning. All of the information in this video comes from authoritative sources like Attitude Magazine, chad.org, and understood.org. In one of our videos, we talked about a few ways your child can still develop their social skills if they're doing remote learning or spending a lot of time at home and away from other people. In this video, we're going to talk more about social emotional learning, or SEL, which you can apply to any social or emotion regulated goals you and your child may have. First, we're going to go over SEL a little more. Then we're going to talk about a special tool that helps with one's social and emotional progress. And finally, we'll tack on a few additional activities to try. Today, we're incredibly excited to partner with STRUT Learning for this video to talk more about SEL. This video isn't sponsored or anything, but they have a great free tool we'd love to share with you. STRUT Learning aims to empower individuals and communities by optimizing learning through adaptive SEL technologies, and these integrate emotional intelligence. So far, one of the tools they have created is SELDA, or a social emotional learning diagnostic assessment to adapt to each person's learning style, emotional intelligence, also referred to as EQ or EI, and their emotional state. We at Smart Course are thrilled to have Daniela Broderick from STRUT to talk more about them and their amazing technologies. But first, before we get into all that cool tech stuff, let's start with SEL and what even is it in the first place. STRUT defines SEL, or SEL, as the process of developing emotional intelligence skills that are crucial for success in daily life. Emotional intelligence skills are essential for understanding yourself and learning how to engage and build relationships with others. Children with and without ADHD make tremendous strides in their social and emotional development during their formative years. As they go through adolescence, their connections between different brain regions get stronger and more efficient. So any interruptions during this crucial time for that development negatively impacts their social and emotional growth. Any disruption is especially significant for kids with ADHD because they already experience a delay in their development. So you've read all the books, watched all the videos, looked at all the articles, and professionals might be a smidge confusing. So what now? Well, here's Daniela to explain a bit more about SELDA and how this tool can help you and your child.
Thank you for the introduction, Adriana. I speak for the whole STRUT Learning team when I say that we are very excited with this partnership and honored to be speaking with Smart Courses parents. At STRUT, we have developed several tools to improve children's and adults' emotional intelligence, or EQ. STRUT Learning offers web-based solutions that include the EQ assessment SELDA, which will be the focus of the conversation today. Additionally, we have developed skill enhancement activities and an adaptive EQ learning management system, our eMojo, that can be used in the classroom or remotely. SELDA provides children and adults with an EQ baseline from which they can track their progress. eMojo is a teacher and student-centric platform with the capacity for customization that creates optimal learning conditions, increasing focus and retention. But let's go back to our EQ assessment, SELDA. I consider SELDA one of our most important tools because I believe that it's much easier to work on improving in any area when you know in which skills you need to work the most. Most of you have heard about EQ competencies described as soft skills, like leadership, empathy, self-awareness, and social skills. At STRUT Learning, we think of EQ as a set of 6 main competencies, each with a set of 3 subcompetencies for a total number of 18 subcompetencies. I'm not going to describe each, and many of the terminology is fairly self-explanatory, but here they are. You will notice that some of these competencies are internally focused, such as self-awareness, self-management, and motivation, while some are externally focused, such as social awareness and relationship skills. Responsible decision-making is both internal and external. You will also notice that some of the soft skills I mentioned earlier, leadership and empathy, for example, are not listed here. Why? Well, those are characteristics or skills that are a consequence of well-developed emotional intelligence. For example, if a person has well-developed adaptive behavior like communication, constructive thinking, resilience, she will most likely have well-developed leadership skills. If someone has well-developed respect for self and others, like interdependence, appreciation for social and environment diversity, etc., she will most likely have well-developed empathy.
It's incredibly important for parents and their kids, ADHD or not, to work together. When someone doesn't quite realize where their social and emotional weaknesses or strengths are, this can look like conflict. For instance, if a child doesn't know how to regulate their anger or stress, there can be a huge meltdown over any seemingly simple thing. If a parent is lacking in adaptive behavior skills, this can look like random or senseless punishment, or very much a "I'm the parent, you're the child, do what I say" kind of dynamic, which doesn't usually turn out well. If both parents and their children learn more about their own EQs and how to continue improving their strengths and weaknesses, then they can implement more positive parenting techniques and work together with their child to help everyone rather than have a top-down approach.
That's a very important point, Adriana. Parents will be much more able to interact with their kids in a positive, constructive, and helpful way, and help their children manage their emotions if they as parents understand and are able to manage their own emotions and are making an effort to improve in the areas identified as opportunity areas. Parents will also be able to more constructively intervene on any number of new situations they're encountering during the pandemic, such as sheltering in place, remote learning, or homeschooling. And that's how SELDA can help. For instance, once an individual takes the assessment, if they have well-developed internally focused EQs such as self-awareness and motivation, but have underdeveloped externally focused EQs such as social awareness, their time will be better spent targeting social awareness specific competencies and working on improving them, rather than approaching EQ as a monolith. Our EQ assessment will allow you to have a great understanding of your areas of strength and the areas of opportunity. After answering a series of questions, you can see if you are emerging, developing, meeting, or exceeding on each of the 18 EQ competencies. What is also very helpful with SELDA is that while many assessments use pen and paper or are too complex, our online version can be taken anywhere to provide immediate results. I hope you're starting to see how this could be very helpful to parents.
Lots of children can experience similar challenges as they're hitting their marks in development and acquiring different interpersonal skills. That said, we're also aware of some of the more common challenges children with ADHD in particular tend to experience, like difficulty with executive functions or regulating emotions and building relationships. These impact how children interact with other people and handle all kinds of challenges. SELDA could be an invaluable tool for children with ADHD and their parents to build a better understanding and work together towards their goals. Based on the current research we have, we know ADHD tends to be genetic or even hereditary. So, just like children with ADHD can benefit from this tool, so can their parents, especially if they have or suspect they might have ADHD as well.
You might be wondering, what do I do after I take the assessment? We have a few additional tools at STRUT Learning. One is our daily SEL. These are daily social and emotional learning activities to keep someone focused on working on their EQ. These daily SEL reflections and activities are available on our website and change daily, and are also showcased on our social media daily. Most are designed with children in mind, but can be adapted for adults. How does it work? Well, first you have a quick reflection. This one, for example, is about self-awareness, followed by an activity. In this case, we suggest the child makes a list of problems an adult could help them with, problems they can solve on their own, and problems they can let go. You can see that although this was designed for children, an adult could easily adapt it for their own needs. In this case, for example, an adult could change the first prompt to problems a coworker or a spouse or a supervisor could help them with. Another great tool, and this one is my favorite, is our SEL activities. This is segmented by EQ competency and age. For example, if you took SELDA and you need to work on self-management, you can select that specific competency, select your age group, and if you would like to see activities that are digital or non-digital. We recommend that after taking action and working on your EQ based on your SELDA results, you take SELDA again, probably a few months after the first time, to monitor your improvement. SELDA is free, and it will be free forever. You can rest assured that we will not try to sell you something else if you take the assessment multiple times. One last thing I want to share with you about SELDA is that when you take the assessment, STRUT does not collect any personal information, not even names. We block IP addresses, location information, the device or browser type you're using, and a lot of the other data that nearly everyone else collects. We do not sell, share, or distribute any personal information. Finally, I would like to mention that STRUT Learning is planning an Emotional Intelligence and Remote Learning Summit. In a nutshell, this summit will consist of presentations to teachers and parents on ways in which they can maintain and even improve children's EQ during remote learning. The summit will take place in April, and you can check our website for more updates. Adriana will take over now to talk a little bit about her own experience with SELDA. I want to thank the Smart Course team, and especially Adriana, for inviting us to speak with Smart Courses parents. And I hope that you found the presentation useful and that you decide to take the assessment. Thank you so much.
Like Daniela said, I've even taken the adult version of SELDA for myself. And all in all, it's really straightforward and the results are easy to understand. So once you go in, you set up a quick account and you just give them your email address and then select the version of the assessment for adults. And the assessment walks you through different personality questions and scenarios that you then have to answer with your most likely response. It took me around 15 to 20 minutes to complete, and I was able to download a PDF of my results, and it shows you a chart of where you're emerging, developing, meeting, or exceeding across STRUT's 18 listed competencies. If, for instance, I were to do this on a monthly basis, I'd have a record of my progress over time in specific areas, and I could track how I grow and make plans for, making strides in other areas. Plus, like Daniela said, they offer follow-up activities you can do from home. Some examples from their daily SEL activities that are applicable are to simply call someone to check on them and see how they're doing and have a conversation, or sit down and actually write down things about yourself that you'd like to improve and any challenges you'd like to solve. Here are some other general activities you can try with your child. If communication is an area of focus, whether that's interrupting or bringing ideas together and forming a cohesive thought, or even speaking at all, maybe once or twice a week, try scheduling themed conversations to talk about something that really interests you both. Or it could be something unusual, or something that you two haven't discussed before, things like that. This allows you to practice in a safe environment, and you can immediately help your child identify where they need improvement. Another activity you can try is making a deal. You and your child can set up a scenario with you wanting one thing, your child wanting another, and you both now have to figure out how to come up with a solution or a compromise, which has a lot of real-world application. This can help them learn more about understanding someone else's side of a situation, especially if it conflicts with what they want. In a previous video, we mentioned Dr. Anna Vagan, a previous speaker in our summit, and her presentation about games as a tool for developing skills. Different kinds of games can target different competencies and skill sets, and they're definitely very applicable for social and emotional learning competencies. These can be video games, card games, board games, computer games, even games you and your child create together. To recap, we went over what social emotional learning is, why it's important, and how STRUT's SELDA tool can be helpful for you and your family. We also went over a few additional activities to try for working on both your and your child's social and emotional skills. Managing ADHD and family dynamics is much easier when everyone is on the same page and has a framework for how to move forward together. Thanks again to Daniela and everyone at STRUT for partnering with us for this video to share more about SELDA and how that contributes to social and emotional learning and how it can benefit families. We have a very short survey in the description box and would love to know if SELDA is something you want specifically for families with ADHD. If enough people fill out the form and actually do want it, then we can try to make that happen. You can also check out more about STRUT in the description box below. In our upcoming video, we will be learning more about the symptoms of ADHD in teens. For an expert-curated list of resources from our past summit and videos, please visit the link in the description. If you like this video, please don't forget to like it and let us know what you liked or what you'd like to see more of in the comments below. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. The more people who like, subscribe, click the bell, and comment, the more people will see this kind of content on YouTube, and we know a lot of people could really use this help. Also, don't forget to share this with anyone you know who could benefit from this video. If you like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment, and sign up for our upcoming summit at this link, then we will pin your comment to the top and we will send you our expert-curated list of ADHD resources. We share tons of expert-vetted resources on parenting and education for differently abled kids, so feel free to sign up for our newsletter using the link in the description below. If you haven't watched our previous series about ADHD and self-isolation, click the annotation to watch those videos. And if you want to support SmartCourse and help make sure we can continue bringing you content, check out our Kickstarter and membership pages. We also have an online course with even more specific information, step-by-step guides, and access to professionals who can help you through this process. As always, I appreciate you taking the time, and thank you for watching, and see you soon!